fought the rest, now try the best!
Tekken 8 on Steam, overwhelmingly negative. You can see it's almost 4,000 people who rated the game negative in recent time. And that's kind of what I mean is like, even if it's not the whole player base, the fact that it's almost 4,000, pretty crazy, right? When you look at Tekken 7, it's sitting at a very positive throughout both. Tekken 7 was never review bombed. It has double the reviews as well. Double the reviews, no review bombs. For Tekken 8, 24-hour peak was 8,000, almost 9,000. Playing right now is 6,000, almost 7,000. But what's interesting about this is, you have a lot of people who's now going back and playing Tekken 7, Tag 2. And when you look at the charts for this game, it's climbing. You see the upward trajectory? 1,000 people. The point that I want to bring up here is that a lot of people love Tekken. No one wants to quit. We just want to play Tekken. But the issue is that Tekken 8 doesn't feel like Tekken. So people are going elsewhere to get that experience, that Tekken experience. Tag 2, people are playing that. Tekken 6, if you have that. Tekken 5, right? Whatever other version of Tekken people have, people were playing it. But then also, too, on the flip side, there is a lot of people who are still continuously playing Tekken 8 just because of, like, the game is out, it's new, it's fresh, they want that experience, they want to fully understand what Season 2 is about. There's a lot of different things happening right now for Tekken. One of the most interesting current revelations that I found out about is this. So they created this website, Tekken 8 Boycott. Let's save Tekken 8 together. Why the boycott? It's hard to speak for all, but based on many posts we've seen online, it's safe to say Tekken 8 has strayed far from the legacy that made Tekken great. To summarize major issues in one paragraph, the game has heavily revolved around 50-50 guesses, making the match feel like a flip of a coin rather than a test of player skill. Characters have lost their individuality. The balancing is horrible and everyone feels overpowered due to a lack of counterplay. Communication from the developers have been disappointing. Promises about prioritizing defense was broken with a patch that worsened the experience for many players. Tekken directors blatantly choose to ignore our thoughts. This is the final straw that results in the boycott movement. I like to do polls about many things. I recently did one about whether or not you like Season 2. As you can see here, there's over 16,000 votes. That's a lot of people. And it's at a 79-21 in favor of no, the patch is not good. The developers are going to have to make a lot of changes in order to fix the damage that they've done. And the question that I always come back to is like, how long would it take to make this 79% of 16,000 players happy? Now, if we continue looking at this website, you can sign up here, take a stand. But 3,000 people showed up. The person who joined the latest is at the top, and you could just scroll through and look at all the different names of players who signed up.
GM Snooze has donated $4.99 and says Tekken still more fun than other games every during a bad patch. S1 Kishin first game Tekken 3.
Did you guys hear the voice? It's not supposed to sound that way. It's supposed to be a waifu voice. Michael Murray popped into Ares' chat and he said, y'all keep it up. I'm gonna put more effects and anime characters.
Thanks. Thanks, Michael Murray licked my balls.
Before we start this conversation, can I get a yes or no from the chat? Do you think Season 2 should be reverted entirely? A tweet that I was not expecting is from FeedX. Let me find this. People will be trying to call like FeedX a shill and like paid and whatnot. But even though he do be like downplaying a lot, like in terms of like tracking strings, that's something that he was infamous for in Season 1. I still can understand what he was trying to do. But I don't think that he's like truly paid, because if he was, he wouldn't have put out this tweet here. FeedX released this tweet. We are so close to a really fire Tekken after the TWT ended. The pros started showing tons of counterplay and creativity solutions. At the STL finals, Knee used the Snake Edge to beat Yoshimitsu Bad Breath. At Korean versus Pakistan, we saw a ton of heat bursts get sidestepped and launched. And who can forget the hype Newman versus Edge at TWT 2024? A few nerfs to homie strings, the tracking heat bursts, and the chip damage would have put the game in an amazing state. Let's just stop there. I agree that Season 1 was rough, but there was a lot of great things you could point to and say, this is good. If the game was more like this, we would be cooking. And I think the matches that he lists out are good examples. Even when you have a Brian Fury and a Yoshimitsu on screen, you still have an example of like overcoming the opponent and unique gameplay experiences, right? And this is what we wanted out of season 1, is for them to just enhance the good things that season 1 was doing and reduce some of the more egregious things. Jin Kazama dive kick, Yoshimitsu Oki, and that's what we wanted out of season 2, because that's really all they really needed to do. The new moves of Tekken 8 aren't really new moves. They're more so new situations, is how I think it's better described. In Tekken 7, you literally had new moves. All the moves were different. Some characters got power crushes. Yoshimitsu got a launcher, a lot of different things, a slide, you know. But in Tekken 8, you guys can correct me on this, but from what I've seen, it looks like every new move is actually a new situation that is a forced situation, and most of them is a forced situation on block. But then also, yeah, you could talk about recycling moves and animations. There's a lot of that going on as well. Some are new, some are recycled. I think what FedEx is saying there in that first part is interesting. Let's look at the next one. For new moves, the Heat Smash adjustments I generally enjoy a lot. I can't speak to every Heat Smash, but Yoshimitsu's was definitely nerfed a lot, and I think it's better. That is weaker, but I can't speak to if it's over nerfed or not. I haven't done that much experimenting, but just from, you know, the experimentation that I did do, I like it. So he says the Heat Smashes reintroduced as meter moves are generally not my favorite, including Lily, Steve, but these weak cover-ups and do everything moves feel like a modded game, not a mainline title update. So this is showing like a modded version of Tekken 7. And this is like exactly how Tekken 8 looked. Like how Jin is doing that little spin. That's literally what he got in Tekken. This is literally looks like what Tekken 8 is. It's like a modded version of the game. And it is so weird how they were able to come to this point where, yeah, it looks like some modder did this in their garage on their weekend and they just did it for every character. This is exactly how Tekken 8 looks. Exactly. It would be different if Tekken was a new franchise, but the fact that Tekken is you know, a franchise that went on for 30 years and these guys have made multiple different games, they have so much experience and this is what they put out, it's like, it's weird. This is exactly what it looks like. This is exactly Tekken 8. At the end of season 1, I was logging on every day to drill Tekken and rewrite myself to learn to attack better. I was running long sets with my friends, streaming to entertain and educate, and always looking forward to logging on again. This is what Nee did, right? Nee was like, he started off struggling and he had to kind of forgo the Tekken 7 playstyle and adapt a new one. I remember specifically Nee was highlighting a match between Nee and someone else, but he was highlighting how Nee is playing Tekken 7 and then the other person is playing Tekken 8. And we saw Nee overcome that, right? So that's what FedEx is talking about, how he was overcoming that defensive style and more so embracing offense, right? Now I have to decide if the new version of Tekken 8 is worth completely rewriting again for. The new rank system really cool to me, but the gameplay required to climb it personally is not for me. This is the thing, I haven't touched rank yet. I don't think I will in quite some time, because what you have to do to win in ranked now is diabolical. And this was always the case. Throughout many Tekkens, you had to play the most diabolical version of the game to overcome. It's very rare where you could be one of these players who's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to rage art, or I'm not going to, you know, do this, and I'm still going to win. Like, you have to be really good to put all of these restrictions on you and still win. But now you are dealing with the most absurd stuff possible. What you have to do to win in ranked is not really about skill. It's just about unlocking the most diabolical potential of your character and imposing that on the opponent before they have the opportunity to do it to you. And it's not really about skill. And that's really what this whole conversation is about. When you talk about season 2, is how it's really just mix-ups, 50-50s, and there's not much skill involved. And when you talk about rank, people are going to do what it takes to win, and that's broken mix-ups, right? So he says, I was on a battle high of reading and studying the patch while trying to make it balanced. Level-headed content about it. Now I'm coming down from it. Morale is pretty low. I don't think my opinion holds much weight to the development team, but I wouldn't have made nearly daily videos this whole year if I didn't love Tekken. I wanted to share and teach what makes this series special, and I don't know if I will have that passion for the new direction. Please revert the patch is what he ends this with saying. This is FedEx, who's talking about how he's losing motivation and he can't teach, he can't entertain, he can't play, he can't experience. The gameplay that they're putting into the game is ruining all of it. And I don't know how they didn't foresee this, to where boiling every match down to mix-ups would have a reverse effect. If FDX quits because this update sucks and he starts making content about 2KXO, because I don't know if you guys remember, but FDX once said if Tekken 8 falls off, he's making videos about 2KXO. So if FDX drops Tekken and talks about 2KO instead, how many new players do you have to bring in to make up for that loss? One of the biggest content creators, boom, gone. For all of the veteran players who play this game daily and have done so for 30 years, 10 years, 15 years, 5 years, even 1 year. For people who play this game daily, in order to replace them, how many new players do you need to do so? That's the question you have to ask. But then also you have to wonder if that's happening or not. He says, please undo the patch, LOL. And this is a clip of Jin Kazama doing this forced mix-up. You know, there's nothing you could do to stop it. You're just cooked. Season 1, Jin would have to be in heat to do something like this. But now he doesn't even need to be in heat. Oh, wait. I did a poll. Revert Season 2 patch. 158 votes. 84% says yes. 16% says no. I do wonder what their plan is, because obviously it's not going well. Whatever their solution is will take some time. And when you talk about the quickest patch to all of this is reverting the update, you have to wonder if are they even considering the idea of removing the update? There's a lot of things that with an ounce of playtesting, you can figure out that it's just super overpowered and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Let's just use a tailspin, right? You would try to experiment on what the max damage combo would be. And we would assume that the developers are good enough at the game to do a above 100 combo with these tailspins. So the fact that so many characters were given these tailspins, you have to wonder whether or not it was intentional at that point. And if so, why do we feel that the damage is high and they don't? Okay, I also saw this discussion and I'm interested to hear what you guys think. There is a conversation going on about, like, with hindsight looking back, what is the thing that should have told us this was going to happen? Some people were saying the introductions of rage arts in Tekken 7. Some people were saying launch Leroy, you know, +6 Kane on block having mix-ups, right? You know what I think? The removal of infinite stages.